Hello and welcome to another live English lesson here with AM Language with me, Richie. Hope you're doing well. This is the AM Language YouTube daily live lessons. And if this is your first time, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to follow the lessons, make sure you follow us in the live chat section because that's where the action happens. And as always, make sure you like the video. Today, we're going to look at positive language. And we're going to look at trying to use positive language to, well, when speaking to friends, when they're feeling a bit down. Irina F., good afternoon. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you very much, Irina F. That's lovely of you to say. I hope you have a good day as well. And privyet. So yeah, we're going to look at language that you can use when talking to friends, when talking to people. And the situation is you're talking to someone who's feeling, well, a little bit down. And you, as a friend, want to help. So that's the sort of language we are going to look at today. It can be difficult, this sort of language. It can be difficult to talk to friends. It can be difficult to be positive as well. Roberto says, good afternoon, Richie. Good afternoon, Roberto. Welcome to the lesson, as always. So why is this a good lesson to do? Well, okay, like I said, I think maybe Monday or yesterday, January and February are the worst 2 months of the year. They're well, if you're in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, they're probably great. When I was in Australia, New Zealand, I remember February, for example, being a great month, but that's because it's their summer. In the northern hemisphere, winter really is full on in January and February. And if I'm being honest with you, it's just dull. Alida says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Alida. Welcome to today's lesson. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Welcome to today's lesson. Now, Alida, where you are in the world, it is your summer, so it's lovely. In the northern hemisphere, it's rubbish at this time of year. The weather's bad, it's cold, and it's also what makes this year a little bit more difficult for people is the situation with COVID. So you probably all know someone, or you yourself might sometimes feel a little bit sad, a little bit down. Nothing in particular has upset you, but it's just the situation of you wake up and you're just not having a good day. That is the situation. Elida says that it's lovely where she is. Well, I wish I was where you are. I am really missing summer. Summer is my favorite month of the year. And like I said, if it's winter, the only place to be is in the mountains where you can ski. Because everywhere else is just doesn't, as we say in English, good phrase, by the way, it doesn't cut the mustard. Now, this is one of my favorite English expressions, okay? It doesn't cut the mustard. It simply means it's not good enough, okay? I like to use this a lot, and you can use it in a wide range of situations. You could use it with your friends, when cooking, at work, you name it. But in this situation, I would say the weather at the moment in January and February in the northern hemisphere, it doesn't cut the mustard. It's not proper winter where you have snow. It's just cold. And if you're like in the UK or Ireland or North France or Germany, or it just rains really. Leondino, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. Buon pomeriggio. Elida says, is that an idiom? Yes, it is. It's a good expression. It doesn't cut the mustard. And yes, it is an idiom. And it's a good one to know. I encourage people to use it. It doesn't cut the mustard. So that is what we're looking at for today. So we're going to try and look at some language. We'll do some activities, and we'll try and think of positive language that we can use to help a friend. So first of all, we need to find what the correct thing is over here. So we've got a sentence. My friend is sad today. Okay, we've got this nice simple sentence, but which of the options below is the what, or which options below can we use to say the same thing? So which ones are correct? There might be two, there might be three that accurately go with my friend is sad today. We've got A, my friend is feeling a bit down. My friend is feeling a bit blue today. My friend feels like a wet turtle today. And my friend feels like a fish out of water. But which one of these is or which ones, should I say, are the correct ones that we could use that says the same thing as feeling sad? Alida says A, B, and C. Leondina says A and B. Okay, I'll give you guys another. Okay, yes, Roberto, A and B. Okay, and Irina F says B. So the answers here are A and B. My friend is feeling a bit down. Yes, we can use that because that means sad. My friend is feeling a bit blue. Yes, if you say someone feels blue, or you say I feel blue, a bit blue, it means you're feeling sad, maybe a bit unhappy. We cannot say my friends feels like, oh, that's meant to be my friend, feels like a wet turtle today. That is not an English expression. I just made that up. Having said that, I think it sounds like a pretty good expression. Maybe if I start using it, it will become part of the English language to being sad. I think it somehow has the same meaning. Oh, I feel like a wet turtle today. It sounds so silly. I feel like a wet turtle today. No, I just made that up, I'm afraid. And D, my friend feels like a fish out of water. That is an English idiom, but it doesn't mean sad. It means you are not in your comfort zone. You are feeling really uncomfortable. Roberto says D seems more like yes, you're correct, Roberto. It's when you are in an uncomfortable situation that you are not you have little experience with. So that's what that expression means. So we're looking at A and B. So we can say, oh, I feel a bit down today, or I feel a bit blue at the moment. We can play around with this. And of course, this language means, oh, I just feel sad. I don't know why. Who knows? So now we need to think of the phrase that we can use to, in terms of our goal. Okay. I want to. Okay. So the idea is, let me make you. Let me try and make you feel better. Okay. That's the basic English. Which phrases can we use? A. Okay, so which one can we use, or which ones can we use? We're trying to say, let me try and make you feel better. Come on, I'm going to warm you up. B, let me cheer you up. And C, let me light a candle up your heart. Which one do you think, or which ones do you think we can use when we're trying to say, okay, right, you're not feeling too great. I'm going to try and make you feel better about yourself. Alida says A and B. I'm going to warm you up. I'm going to warm you up and let me cheer you up. Leondina says B, let me cheer you up. What do you guys think? Roberto, Arena F, or anyone else watching? Roberto says B and C. C being let me light a candle up your heart. Okay, so let me give you the answers, or just answer. The answer in this case is only one, and it's B. Let me cheer you up. A, come on, I'm going to warm you up would not mean I'm going to make you feel better. It has just a physical meaning of, right, you're feeling cold, let me warm you up. C, let me light a candle up your heart. Again, it's not actually a phrase in English. I just made it up now. I created it. It has no meaning. However, it could be English. It sounds so convincing. Let me light a candle up your heart. It's not an actual English expression, but for some reason, it has a good. You can think it has a positive meaning, but it is not an expression at all. Definitely not. So yes, I've created two expressions today that we cannot use. Having said that, I kind of feel that the meaning of C could exist. I don't know. Maybe I should start using it, and maybe people will start using it as well. Okay, so B. Right. So now let's begin by trying to look at the objective here. You're talking to a friend and they're feeling down. The point here is trying to use positive language and trying to take negatives, turn them into positives. Okay, so we'll go with this. This is the situation. You have a friend, and your friend says, So your friend says, I'm feeling really down at the moment. I'm fed up of lockdown. I'm tired of the COVID situation and I cannot take it anymore. So before we look at the positive language that we're going to use to try and help this person, we first need to make sure that we've understood some very important terminology. We've got words. We've got fed up, tired of something, and cannot take it uh, anymore. Okay. Which meanings can we go with? Okay, for these. A. So which one or which ones can we use? Um, Now you've got I'm at the end of my tether. We'll discover what this means. I no longer have patience for this situation. And C, I'm just going to sit and eat ice cream. You can decide what you think about that. But that's the okay. So Alida says A, cannot take it anymore. B, fed up. C, tired of. Okay. Um, That's one way of going. But I can assure you, by the way, fed up, tired, and cannot take it anymore, they're all going to mean the same thing. They're all going to mean the same thing. So you've got all of these things that mean the same thing, but which meaning is it that's going to be correct? So you can say A and B, you can say just A, you can say just B, or maybe you want to say just C. Evelina says, I'm a bit late this afternoon. I'm sorry. Don't worry, Evelina. That's fine. Thank you for joining. Lena Dina says A and B. Roberto says B. Okay, right. Arena F says B. Okay, so I'll tell you what the answers are. And you've got the answers are A and B. Now, all of them, I'm fed up, I'm tired, I cannot take it anymore. They all mean A and B. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Richard, what is A? I'm at the end of my tether. Well, tether is a rope. And this rope is a rope of patience. Okay. So when you say, I'm at the end of my tether, you're saying you're at the end of your rope of patience. There's no more rope. You have no more patience. You're at the end. So that's what this means. If you're fed up, if you're, this is at the extreme level. I mean, you can be fed up, but you might not be at the end of your tether, but you can still be fed up. But when you are saying, I'm fed up, I'm tired, I cannot take it anymore, you are saying you are at the end of your tether. You have no more rope. You have no more patience. And that is why the answers here are A and B. So that is a new one for you guys. I have no more patience. This is what the person is saying. So now we need to think of, okay, what language can we use to try and cheer them up? What are we going to do? The first thing that we need to think about actually is trying to, the first thing I would do is this. Okay. Let's start off with, what would you do? Okay. We're going to start off with just, and there's no right or wrong answer here, just a question of what would you do? Okay. Would you, one, two, three, four, and five? So those are your five options. Let me know which one you would go with. So someone is at the end of their tether. They're fed up. They're sort of thing. Okay, they're not enjoying themselves. Um, to start trying to be positive, what would you do? Would you, one, echo their feelings? So this is where you agree with them and you let them know that you are fed up as well. That's called echoing. You echo their feelings. Two, ask questions about their daily routine. Three, complain to them about your problems. Four, tell them to stop complaining. Or five, try and find something to laugh about. Leondina says five. Alida says two and five. Roberto agrees with two and five. Okay, so some mix things going on here. Me personally, my answers would be, I would probably do a mix. I would go with a mix of one, two, and five, potentially. I definitely would go with five. I think five is an absolute must. Um, the danger with one is that, on one hand, one can work with some personalities. Uh, they want to make sure that, it helps if someone, if they feel that they're being understood. Two is an interesting one, though, because you're going to ask questions about their day and that sort of thing. But here, effectively, you're looking for positivity. Okay, so let's look at the following. Taking negative comments and then making them into good comments. Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of negative comments, and then I'm going to give you the positive twist options, and you guys need to try and link them. Roberto says, in my opinion, empathy is the key. Roberto, I agree with you. Empathy is going to be really important. I think there are two things here. And that is, one, listening and empathizing. I think that's really important, when someone can just speak without, someone stopping them speaking. letting them speak. I think that's the first and most important thing. We call it letting the person get it off their chest. That's what we would say. You let it off your chest, or you get something. You get something off your chest if you're the one doing it. It means you tell. This idiom here means to tell someone your feelings and thoughts that you really want to say. So I think that's the first thing that's quite important. Allow someone to get it off their chest. Um, it's better if you use get something off your chest. That's what it means for someone to speak their mind. And then you go in with your questions and your type of conversation. So below, what I'm going to do is we're going to look at a series of negative comments, and we're going to try and twist them around in trying to find the positive or the humor. Okay. So, for example, um, person A might say, okay, so the sentence might be, oh, sorry. Okay, and you might link it to, let's say, a comment like C, where you try to turn it around. In this case, you might want to go for humor, so you might say, okay, so you might reply with something like this. So the person might say, oh, I don't like work at the moment. Boss, yeah, my boss is really rude. And you might reply with something like, does she or does he sound like a parrot on helium? Now, in case you're wondering, helium is the thing that you inhale, and then your voice sounds really high. That would be your attempt, maybe, to try and take something that takes something negative and try and make it funny. You're trying to turn and make something into a positive. So that's just an example. I don't know if this would really work in real life. If someone's saying, "Oh, my boss is awful," does he sound like a parrot on helium? It might not really work. It depends on the person. But that's the activity. You're going to have to link 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so let's see how you guys get on. One. Okay, so this is actual one now. Okay. Okay. 2, 3, And number 5. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see which ones you're going to link them to. Okay. Okay. B. C. D. And finally, E. Okay, let's have a little look. Let's see how you guys do. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got A, B, C, D, and E. You've got 1. I've tried to keep healthy, but I just don't have the motivation. The person here, obviously, they don't have the motivation. They don't have the want anymore to try and be healthy, eat healthy, uh, do exercise. They don't have it in them. 2, I'm so lonely, I don't know anyone. 3, the news is so depressing. 4, I don't like this person, we have nothing in common. 5, I don't feel good about myself because I don't think I'm doing well on my course. Now, A, you've got the option here that can go to one of these which is that may be. That may be, by the way, is a really, really good bit of discourse language, an excellent expression that I encourage you all to use. When you say that may be, that is the same as saying true, or yes, I understand what you've told me, or maybe I agree what you're telling me. But it always comes with a but. So that may be, but you're forgetting how well you've done so far. B, granted. Now, granted has the same meaning as that may be. You're acknowledging the comment. You're saying, yes, that's true, but, okay? So B, granted, they're not nice, but what's stopping you from not talking to them? C, I know how you feel. I had a similar experience. The general term of I know how you feel is a really important one, important bit of language if you want to show empathy. D, depressing is an understatement. That's why I no longer look at it. Now, if something is an understatement, someone says depressing, well, depressing is an understatement. It means the word is not the right word. It's not extreme enough. Something that is um, an understatement is not extreme enough. There are other levels to to describing this situation. And someone might say, for instance, with social media, that social media, if someone says, oh, the news and social media is depressing, you can say depressing is an understatement. I mean, it's absolutely, you could go on with some words. It's atrocious. It's so unhealthy. That's why I no longer look at it. Annie, let me share you this program I started. And the reason why I would go with let me share is that sometimes you might be thinking, okay, there's something I'm doing, but I'm not sure if I can really explain it well. So therefore, it's better if I show you, and therefore you can go with this language. Let me share you this program. Let me share you a video. Let me share you a program. Let me share you this, that. Okay. Alida says A goes with 5, B goes with 4, C goes with 2, D goes with 3, and E goes with 1. Well, if you agree with Alida, let me know in the live chat section. If you don't, come out with some different answers. Roberto says 1 goes with E. Well, that's the same as Alida. 2 goes with C. That's the same. 3 goes with D. That's the same. 4 goes with B. And 5 goes with A. Leondina, you have the same answers. Evelina, looks like you have the same answers as well. So far, you're all giving me roughly the same answers, which sounds like it could very well be good. But like I said, guys, that may be, and granted. Really, two really important bits of language here. You're saying yes, that's true, but that is precisely why it's so important that you guys do use terms like that may be or granted. Those are two good terms. It shows that you have understood what the person has said, but you want to put across something slightly different that they haven't said. That maybe they've forgotten something. So it's really important and very good language. Uh, so, and Evelina, okay, guys, I can see your answers. I think you've all come out with roughly the same answers. So let me tell you what the answers are. So yes, 5 goes with A. So you've got, I don't feel good about myself because I don't think I'm doing well on my course. A, that may be, but you're forgetting how well you've done so far. So what I want you guys to take away from this is when you want to say, yes, that's true, but you've got this option. That may be. And it's the same with B as well. Granted. Okay. Really important language for the reasons I've said. And yes, B goes with 4. I don't like the person. We have nothing in common. Granted, they're not nice, but what's stopping you from not talking to them? A really good bit of language. Again, I would like you guys to take away the word granted and that may be, because those are the main two things there. You guys, yes, C goes with two. So two is I'm so lonely, I don't know anyone. C, I know how you feel. I had a similar experience. I think sometimes it's very good to to try and give your own personal experience. And the phrase, the use of language of I know how you feel is really important. Sometimes it can be really good to talk to someone who has had who has had a similar experience or is having the exact same experience, and to show that you would use this language. I know how you feel. So make sure you take note of that one. D, you guys have said yes. The answer is four. I don't like this. Number four, I don't like this person. We have nothing in common. Sorry, D with three. Sorry, D with three. What am I saying? So three is the news is so depressing. And yeah, D, you'd come out with depressing is an understatement. That's why I no longer look at it. There might be some humor in saying, something that's already that is already an extreme, like depressing, and then you're saying, well, that's an understatement. It can be a bit funny in that sense. That's why I no longer look at it. I think for me, I would say this is a particular one that's true for me. I find the news at the moment unbelievably depressing. I absolutely hate it. And I would say personally that depressing is an understatement. I think social media and the news at the moment is so unhealthy, um, that the word depressing does is no longer extreme enough. So I agree with D. And finally, you've got E, which goes with one. Let me share you this program I started with. I've tried to keep healthy, but I just don't have the motivation. I think when it comes to things like food and exercise, it's a very visual thing, which is why I would encourage you to use this term. Let me share you this. Let me share you that. Sometimes it's just better to share. And you can go with that language. Let me share if you want to share a video, a program, an image, an account, an app, whatever it may be. But that's a really good bit of language. Roberto says, the only thing I haven't understood is B and 4. The question is related to a single person. The answer regards more than one person. Okay, so B and 4. Okay, so B is granted. They're not nice, but what's stopping you from talking to them? And we're saying, I don't like this person. We have nothing in common. Um, uh, no, it's still talking about. Don't confuse them. In this case, is still singular, Roberto. So when you so in 4 it says, I don't like this person. We have nothing in common. The reply is, granted, they are not nice, but what's stopping you from not talking to them? Now, the reason why we can use them is if we haven't identified. Yes, I see what you're saying. The thing is that we haven't identified the gender of the person. The person in this, we there's no him, there's no her, because usually we would say, well, what's stopping you from talking to her, or what's stopping you from talking to him? Them is usually plural, yes, but if we don't know the gender of the person, we then use them, and therefore we can use them in when referring to an individual. It is possible. It's the same thing with they and them. There's actually a whole going to be plural. However, if the gender of the person has not been stated, we can use they and them, okay? We can use they and them to talk about a single, about a person. But we have to be really careful because we're playing with grammar here. It is recognized grammar, so this is correct, but the opportunities to use it are very limited. We can only use it if we don't know the gender of a person. That's the only time we can use it. Having said that, there is currently a quite a big political discussion in America, Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand about this, because there are some people who don't see themselves as a him or her and they just want to be called they. But that's a whole political issue. Within the strict box of grammar, this is the time when we can use they and them when talking about an individual, and it's when we have not mentioned the gender. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for your contribution today. Roberto, Evelina, Leondina, Alida, Arena F, and everyone else who's been watching. Thank you so much for your participation today. Hopefully there's some things that you guys can take away from this, such as, I mean, we've looked at some interesting language today. We looked at get something off my chest. We looked at something that doesn't cut the mustard. Phrases, well, expressions like that may be or granted. So there's been some new language here without question, and we've had that conversation at the end about they and them. Roberto says thanks, good to know. You're welcome, Roberto. Leondina says thank you, Richard, see you tomorrow. Thank you, Leondina, see you tomorrow. Evelina says see you tomorrow. Thank you, Evelina. Arena F, thanks, Richard, enjoy your evening and good luck for tomorrow. Thank you very much, Arena F, and thank you always, because I know you're always here. Alida says that she didn't know that, and thanks, you're welcome. Evelina says bye. Bye, Evelina, see you tomorrow, hopefully. Janet Auckland says says hello with a wink. Janet, Auckland, I don't know where you are, but you've got Auckland in your name, and that just makes me think of Auckland in New Zealand. So hello to you. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. Alida, see you soon. Thank you, Alida. See you soon as well. And you too, Roberto. Take care. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. And I will be back tomorrow at the same time with another live lesson. Take care and bye for now.